What wrestlers should turn babyface in 2024? I'll tell you. Babyfaces are the most important characters in professional wrestling. The entire industry was built around fans coming together all to root for the same person. And although babyfaces may have evolved since the early days, they really are the most important aspect of professional wrestling. Being a babyface in wrestling is one of the most difficult things to do, as you need to get a ton of people to all come together to root for you. It's easy to throw a few insults and throw a few jabs at somebody and get them all booing you, but you ask any wrestler, trying to become a face is one of the hardest things to do. You need to have passion and you need to be genuinely authentic, and that's why it's really one of the hardest things to do in professional wrestling. Many wrestlers transition from a heel to a babyface or a babyface to a heel throughout their careers, and it really brings a new life to their characters. So here are 5 wrestlers who should turn face in 2024. Number 1, Bayley. Bayley was one of the biggest baby faces in the entire company when she was in NXT. She was often getting compared to John Cena's level of face with just how much the crowd absolutely loved him, and she's someone that no one ever really thought that they were going to turn heel in their career. However, in 2019, she made a transition that no one saw coming as she slashed the wacky inflatable tube, man, and she really just came out as a heel and debuted a new gimmick. Currently, she's a heel and she's been one of the most consistent workers for WWE despite not winning a singles title in like 3 years. Bayley hasn't been able to reach the heights that she once had. Now, whether that's on her, whether that's on her booking, that's a story for another day. But I think turning her face could be one of the things that really brings a new life to her career. She formed the all-women's faction Damage Control, but right now it kind of seems like that they're going to turn on her because she's technically the leader, but she's kind of getting like kicked to the curb a little bit. So this would be the perfect time to turn her babyface and have her be the person to beat Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship after Bayley wins the Royal Rumble. This would give her a world title that she absolutely deserves, so I think there is no doubt in my mind Bayley needs to turn babyface in 2024. Number 2, Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso is one half of one of, if not the greatest tag teams in WWE history. He turned heel a couple of years ago after he came back to WWE initially as a face, and he was trying to bring his brother Jay out of the grasp of Roman Reigns, but he failed, and then he turned heel, and then he's been with the Bloodline ever since. Now, he remains a heel despite his brother Jay now being a face, and despite the Bloodline barely holding on by a thread. Now, the main reason I think Jimmy Uso should turn face is because I want him and Jay to reunite as the Usos, because I really miss them as a tag team. And honestly, I think there's a good chance that this happens later in the year after Jimmy versus Jay at WrestleMania. I think there is a really good chance that they're going to come together to form the Usos once again, and I think they're probably going to win a couple more tag team titles in their career. Both Jimmy and Jey Uso are really good as singles wrestlers, but I think they are obviously at their absolute best as a team, and whether that's as a team if they're a heel or a babyface, I just think Jimmy Uso needs to turn face so he can reunite with his brother Jay and give us the Usos once again. Number 3, the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is one of the biggest baby faces in the company recently, and the same goes with the Street Profits, who are always a main staple in WWE. Despite winning only 2 tag team championships in their career, they always remained a main part of the tag team division, and they were always a babyface. Now, once Bobby Lashley recruited the Street Profits, they seemingly turned heel, although the crowd seems to be cheering for them, so it's kind of a bit murky. I think you could make the argument that they are tweeners right now, but I think I'm counting them as heels because I think that's what they're supposed to be. And honestly, I don't know if it's just because of like booking or if it's just because everyone loves them so much, but them being heels, it's just not really working for me. I think they would be a really fun team if they were just to turn them face in 2024. Maybe it's just because they're really good, or maybe it's just because it's a team that the crowd has really wanted to see and that's why they're getting cheered. But regardless, just turn them face and push them to the moon, because all 3 of those guys deserve more title runs in their career. Number 4, Finn Balor. Finn Balor is such a good wrestler, and he's been doing some amazing work recently ever since he joined the Judgment Day. Now, he's been a heel for most of his career while he was wrestling in Japan, but once he came to the WWE, he has mostly been a face. Currently, he is a heel, but I think he is someone who could really thrive if they turned him face in 2024. Now, I think this turn should happen once the Judgment Day completely falls apart, which I think is going to happen at some point in 2024. I'm not sure when, but once that happens, they need to then turn Finn Balor face. Now, I don't think Balor's necessarily bad as a heel. I think he's always been a lot of fun, whether he's a heel or a face. I think he's just slightly better once he's a babyface, and I think he's someone that the crowd can easily get behind and root for just because he's so good, and I think that he's done so much great work that the crowd just loves him, and I think he should just turn face. He was so close to having such a different career in WWE if it wasn't for that shoulder injury, and he was never really able to climb back to that height that he once had, and I think if they turn him face, this could be the little jolt that he needs for his WWE career. Regardless, he's remained as a constant in WWE, and that's one of the telltale signs of someone who's really good and someone who's really consistent. So I think that regardless of what happens, he's always going to remain a staple for the company, but I just think he could really take off if they turn him face in 2024. Number 1, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is the best women's wrestler on the entire damn planet, and she's one of just the best wrestlers in WWE currently. She's been a face and a heel throughout her career in WWE, but she's often also kind of just been like a little tweener. And similar to Finn Balor, I think her turning face should come after the Judgment Day falls apart and after her and Dominic break up. However, I don't think she should just be like a pure babyface. I think she should really just kind of be like a badass tweener similar to Kevin Owens. She's just so good and everyone just absolutely loves her that I think this is a transition that they could make and it could happen pretty flawlessly. And I'm not trying to say that she is bad in any way, shape, or form as a heel. I think she is really, really, really good as a heel. I just think that she's so good in general that it'll be easy to root for her as a tweener, and I think she could really take her career to new heights if they sort of revert her back to like that tweener face character. And I think it's something that's probably not going to happen until later in the year in 2024, but I think it's something that should happen, and I think it's something that's going to benefit everybody involved. All right, that is going to wrap up the video. You let me know down in the comments below, who do you think should turn face in 2024? And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling content, and I'll catch you in the next one.